What up?
What's going on, man? I'm doing well. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing really good.
Nice.
Good to see your face.
Thanks, dude. Good to see your face.
We're live.
We are live. That's true. We're just waiting for
Go
B.
kicking it live. Maybe we can figure out who does what order. Or does
Yeah, we can try that.
Keep it. Okay.
I did
There she
the
is.
intro last week, so I should go first this week.
And did you pick?
No, because I did the intro.
Okay.
So I did the intro and went second, which means I
so
think
crazy.
B is up on intro and second this week. I go first, and then you pick, Jason.
Okay.
I think
that's right.
Who does
Hey,
the
B.
intro?
You do.
Great.
Take
Wait,
this.
I'm not
Oh,
kidding.
we're not supposed
I
to say
still need
anything.
to think about what we're talking about. You guys already have 3 things.
Well, since we do this
Yeah.
every week, I just decided to go ahead and write my 3 down beforehand.
Yeah.
Again. Every week.
I'm like looking at my calendar and stuff. Like I don't do anything. The Seahawks one, that was nice.
Yuck. That was gross.
What?
The Seahawks game.
Oh. I'll think
What was
of
gross?
something. He doesn't like the Seahawks.
You see the Lions game? The Lions won. Like I
don't
thought
get
that was
the Lions should not be any good. I don't know what's going on.
I like that guy. The quarterback guy. I don't know. I
Stafford?
like him enough to know his name, but
Yeah, no, clearly not.
yeah, he's fun to watch.
All right.
Okay, we can go.
Are we close, B?
I think you're starting.
In fairness, my 3 are brutal this week, so there's
Oh, great.
not anything super awesome.
Really?
Next week, I'm going to be doing a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything like super insightful or world changing or anything this week. Unlike some weeks.
Unlike most weeks.
Unlike most weeks, when that's what I bring to the table. This week,
All right.
not as much that.
Okay, I'm going to start.
Okay.
Yes.
This week in gratitude.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. That's the name of our podcast. You got it, B. You're ready to go.
Okay. You are listening to This Week in Gratitude. We are 3 friends who talk every week and we catch up with each other, see what's going on in each other's lives, and you get to listen to it. So lucky you. I am Bianca from Seattle. There's Greg in Texas and Jason in Michigan, and we're so glad you tuned in. If you like it, subscribe, tell some friends, and I think we're ready to go.
So much sass in an opening. I don't even know what to do.
I know. I kind of felt like you insulted the listeners. That's a new tactic. Let's try that one.
That was positive. That was all positive.
That was all positive. I think you're really going to want to re-listen to that.
There's got to be a better way to say that.
I know.
Maybe get yourself a tape recorder.
Not the first time I've heard this. Oh well, take it or leave it.
Who goes first? I go last. I get to pick.
That's right.
So
I get to
Greg
go
goes
first. I get to go first.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Okay. So my first one, I'm coming right out and saying it right off the bat. This is not a great week for me in terms of things I'm grateful for.
Oh gosh.
A lot of really lame stuff that you guys are going to laugh at me for. None worse than my first one, which is 2 weeks ago, I mentioned a book called iGen that was talking about basically the trends that are happening in the current generation, the ones that are like right behind millennials. And one of the things that was happening is that Facebook is dying completely, that none of them use Facebook at all. And none of them use Twitter, but they all use Instagram and Snapchat. So because I care about my job and this generation, my job more than this generation probably if I'm ranking them, but my job, I decided it might be a good idea for me to figure out how to use Snapchat. So,
oh gosh.
Yep. So I spent 2 weeks on Snapchat. This is the start of like almost the end of week 2, and I have no idea. Like I don't know if I'm any good at it or not. But I will say this is one of my things is it has absolutely opened up like a whole level of communication with my students that I did not have before. And there's something like really amazing about being able to say, I have no idea how to do this. Show me how to do this. That I think I actually probably learned from Jason, to be honest. Like I think I saw him model that a lot. That was he's very comfortable not having any idea how things are going, and then he just lives into that. And so I appreciate that. So Snapchat, I've been playing that card a ton of like I don't know. And just yesterday, I spent like an hour with students learning how to use Bitmojis, which is a thing I didn't even know existed. So this is exciting stuff. I still don't really know how to use them, but every time I'm around them now, they can show me and send me like goofy, fun stuff. So anyway, shout out to Snapchat. I've tried like one of the things I read, I researched it a little bit, and they said one of the things you need to do is have like consistent things you do just as like a ministry or whatever, so that you know. So this is what we do. This is our rhythm. Morning prayer Mondays, which is anything you want prayer for, just send me a snap of something you want prayer for, and we can pray on Monday mornings. And then Thankful Thursdays, which is just things you're thankful for on Thursday. So I always put us on there, and I'm sending it right now as we're doing the podcast. I'm putting it on Snapchat. So there you go.
What are you putting?
I'm putting Thankful Thursdays, This Week in Gratitude, and then I have a screenshot of your awesome introduction.
Oh, great. So
and if anybody's listening who's also on Snapchat, I'm Greg Richards 77. I think you can find me that way. I'm not positive. I don't totally know how this works. I've mentioned that already, but anyway, it's I'm not sure
really
about it.
Check out this Snapchat thing. It's like $1 billion company that's been
like other people love it. Like I'm super old and I'm super late to this game.
Two things. You recommended that iGen. I checked it out from the library. Actually, I put it on reserve and it just came in. Awesome. I'm reading
it's amazing,
through it.
Right?
It's a really good book, and it's a really good conversation starter. I've been talking about
that's the truth. It's like one of the best ones for that.
Yeah, with my son, I'm running things past him, and then running things. My wife and I are thinking and praying about all these curveballs. So thanks for recommending it. I'm glad it made it on This Week in Gratitude. Two is, I'm not ministering to Snapchat generation. I'm not ministering to iGen very much. I'm ministering to the baby boomers, and as the pastor out here in the end of the line. But as I was leaving San Marino, Snapchat was really taking off, and one of the youth was saying, "Hey, you should join Snapchat." And is there a creepy factor? It kind of feels like there's a creepy factor of you just sending people pictures that disappear. Is that the same one?
That's the same one.
It's kind of creepy. Isn't that kind of creepy?
Yeah. So like everything else, there's two sides to this, right?
Yeah. But it seems like when it was
no, that's my like. I don't know why you would do anything that you couldn't keep. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would you spend however much time you spend on it and it's just going to disappear, right? But the flip side of that argument is that actually makes Snapchat more authentic in a certain way than the other social media, right? Like there's a spontaneity or like an instantaneousness to it. That means you don't spend like 7 hours trying to get your shot exactly right like you might in Instagram or something, or you don't take like 400 pictures of yourself to get the perfect one. It's more real. That's the argument. Anyway, that I've heard from folks when I ask them like what's compelling about it. Because I don't get the like, hey, everything disappears. I don't know why that's compelling.
I don't get that either. And I remember when it was first coming out, they had the inventors of it on one of these late night shows, and they were the host was trying to get out of these inventor guys. Yeah, is like it seems like it's coming from a place of this is for naked pictures to send to people. That just seems like to be like its origin, of like the ideal use of this. Like that's where it's coming from.
That might be true. Jason, you should get on Snapchat. I've got some videos to send you.
Great.
But it seems like it's such a weird thing to be taking up. I don't
Listen,
know.
I'm 100% with you. I will say I've been on Snapchat for like 3 years. So since it first came out, because I had staff that were like, hey, you got to get on this because that's what everybody's going to do. I said, this is stupid. I got on it. It made no sense to me. I couldn't figure out even how to get it to work. And I'm like, this is like, there's no way. This is just dumb. And then I read iGen. I'm like, wait a second. Everybody's using this all the time. Like, how is this?
I haven't
even
gotten to
possible?
that part yet. So maybe
I know.
I think I'm gonna
Spoiler.
But it's
spoiler.
Spoiler alert. People are using Snapchat. As Bianca mentioned, they're like $1 billion company. But here's like, I listen.
Me and Greg, the old like.
I know. Like I.
Who's that outside my door?
No, when I first got on it, I'm like, I'm not going to be on Snapchat because I know it's just going to be my like stupid friends trying to send me pictures of poop and stuff. Like, I don't want that. Don't send me those snaps. I don't want to see it.
I didn't even thought about that. See, that's more attractive.
No, that's compelling. I mean, I could get that.
Yeah, that's compelling. You were that they're coming from now.
Sign me up. Yeah.
So anyway,
okay.
I had it for like 2.5 years. Never used it. I've used it pretty extensively the last 2 weeks. Really, as extensively as I'm capable of using it. I don't think I could do more than I've.
B is the most experienced Snapchatter.
No, that's Greg.
Or Chatty.
He doesn't use it.
No way.
You don't use Snapchat either?
No. Every once in a while, one of my friends will always download it as a joke when we're out at dinner, and we'll like take silly filter pictures of us, and then next time we're at dinner, like, oh, I deleted it. Like, I don't know how to use it. So, I mean, I've used it as like a joke within the people at the table, but I do not subscribe.
So I will say one other thing about Snapchat that is just worth knowing, just as somebody who doesn't use it or whatever. You can literally do everything from inside Snapchat. That's one of the appeals to it that I'd never had explained to me. But basically, once you open Snapchat,
can you order dinner from it? Like, what does that mean?
I think you probably can actually. I'm not sure how, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. But you can call from inside Snapchat. Like, you could call like live video feed, just like what we're doing via Snapchat. You can do like, you can send text via Snapchat. You can send pictures. You can send videos. You can watch like there's like.
But do they all disappear?
Yeah. I mean, you can. Some stuff can be saved. Apparently, like there's ways around this, but I don't know how any of that works.
I think this would be. I think that, like, it's one of those things that it would be fun to circle back and have somebody on. Like, you know, where we had Phil talk about Boney Bear and try to interpret like what that album about.
Yeah.
And so it might be a good idea to circle back and somebody that loves Snapchat. Does Travis?
Yeah. I don't think so. These guys are all too old for it, man.
Yeah, or like a 12-year-old. That's really what it is.
Yeah. I can get a college kid to come and explain why they use it.
Get you a toe.
I get you a toe with fingernail polish on it.
I can get you a college student.
Right, too. Okay, you go next, B. Otherwise, it's gonna be
okay. Let's move on. I got nothing to say about Snapchat.
Nothing good. That's for sure.
No, I have no opinion. I don't think about it. So recently, on Netflix is a documentary with Lady Gaga. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's called 5'2", which is like my dream to be 5'2". I'm like 5'2". That's supposed to be short. Like, I'm short, shorter than that. But it was very enlightening. I've always liked Gaga's music. I didn't really know much about her. I wasn't really into that fashion part of her shtick. But this documentary does a really good job at bringing in that fashion part, but also the music, which I enjoyed. But then also herself, like who she actually is, which was the most interesting part of the documentary. So I would recommend it for anyone. It definitely made me a bigger fan of Lady Gaga. And it was following the latest release of the release of her latest album, Joanna, about her aunt, and around her playing the Super Bowl halftime. So it was around that era that it was filmed. And I just really enjoyed it. And if you like Lady Gaga, if you don't like Lady Gaga, if you think you know everything about her, watch this documentary. It's pretty good. I found it entertaining. That's it.
What's the name of the documentary?
5'2".
5'2".
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And so I saw that. I've always liked Lady Gaga a little bit. Like her music, I don't hate, which is a step in the right direction. But Jason and I talked about her before because like she was on Saturday Night Live once, and it was just her and a piano, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then I thought her Super Bowl thing was fantastic. I thought it was really good.
Yeah,
Super
there's
Bowl.
a scene where she's just it's a oh man, Tony Bennett. It's a Tony Bennett show. It's for him or whatever. So it's just her and a piano in the documentary, and it's awesome. It's really they show that.
I remember in the 2000s when the magazine Paste was still printed. Do you remember that music magazine Paste? And I remember, I think it was at the opening in one of those, the editor wrote this article about how music is moving towards really not. It's uniting. It's like going back. It's coming back together. And he was just talking about there's so many people, so many listeners like anything that's good. You know, they like R&B, they like rap, they like heavy metal, they like hardcore, they like jazz. You know, as long as it's good, they appreciate it, they like it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the pieces I like about Lady Gaga. She is kind of a figure for that. Like she's really good friends with Tony Bennett for some reason. You know, she's coming out with albums with Tony Bennett. And then when Metallica came in, I think she played some music awards with some Metallica band. You know, I appreciate that she's kind of encapsulating with that article that was saying that this is kind of the future, that how listeners are listening to music.
So a friend of our show, Phil Majorans, he's already come up once, but we were standing around a dinner party one time, and people were just trying to be nice and kind of casual conversation, and asked what kind of music you like, and so everybody else went around, and somebody said like John Mayer, and somebody else said somebody else or whatever. And they get to Phil, and he goes, "I just like good music." And it was the most like obnoxious answer ever to that question. What does it mean?
Yeah.
And then somebody else said, "Oh no,
I like the band that you haven't heard of yet."
Yeah, I just like good stuff. And it was like we all like good music. But then somebody else again followed up with, "Well, I like Dave Matthews." And Phil looked at me and gave me a smile, and he goes, "It's all John Mayer to me." It makes no sense, but it's one of my favorite Phil lines of all time.
I
like good music.
And just to circle back around, Paste Magazine still exists, Jay.
Yes.
It's not at all.
I know, but it doesn't
They don't
print,
right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I didn't want people to think that there was no more Paste Magazine. Definitely check out.
It's
one of the best.
Easy, buddy. Yeah, easy, buddy. Easy. Yeah. But it was back in print. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Sorry if I said it was that.
No, you got it. You got it. You're on it.
My first, my one, I think much like Greg's, mine's a little lacking this time, but you were wrong. I think that was one of your best. The Snapchat, it was good. Mine is that movie Split. It came out, I think, last year, but it just came out on video now. It's the M Night. It's M Night Shyamalan, whatever.
I love that guy. M Night
Shyamalan. But I love the movie. I don't know if you saw the movie Split. I highly recommend it. It's in the same vein as Unbreakable. I don't know if I loved that film. It's actually in the same vein because we've talked about what's that series that's the Fargo. What's that guy's Noah? It's in that same Noah Hawley. It's in that same vein because Unbreakable is a non-comic book movie that's about like superheroes. You know, I think it's a new take on an old idea of what if superheroes are real? Where do they come from? What do they look like mingling in the real world? That kind of jazz.
Also, Unbreakable put to film one of my largest nightmares, which is falling into a pool with a cover on it, and then the cover goes over you, which has always been a fear since I was a kid. And I'm watching that movie, being like, someone put this to film. It was awful, but I did like the movie.
Spoiler alert:
is Split scary?
Split's a little scarier, but it ties in. Have you seen Split? Has anybody seen Split?
No, too scary.
Go see the Split. I'm serious.
Go see the Split.
It
Is
actually
it James McAvoy, right? Is the main guy?
It hints there's going to be a sequel with Unbreakable.
What?
Yes.
So you're telling me it's actually interwoven to that world?
It is.
So we should watch Unbreakable first. Again?
If you haven't seen Unbreakable, yeah.
No, I have. It was terrifying.
The first reaction after finishing Split was, I need to watch Unbreakable again.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I gotta look that up. You're the first person I've ever heard say that.
Yeah.
I believe you, Jason. That makes me want to see it. I didn't want to see it before that. It looked good, but it looked like I didn't want to see it. You know.
And I'll give you another thing it'll be the villain is kind of an anti-Messiah. He kills legalistic, like people that self-righteous people.
Okay.
And his line is,
"Hey, you're just gonna tell us the whole movie?"
No, I'm just gonna tell you this line that it'll make you want to see it more.
I am your father.
The wounded are more evolved.
That's it?
Boom!
I didn't know there was going to be a second part.
No, that's it.
That's a Jason line, man. That's got you all over.
It has this wounded healer vibe in it. Which is
wounded
awesome.
Killer vibe.
It does. It's amazing.
What's crazy about that is Wounded Killer was going to be the sequel to Wounded Healer. That's what.
No.
Really?
No. Really?
My wife's favorite part of Split was I was watching it, and right as the villain was about to come into the door, Elsie busts through the door and goes, ah! And I screamed like a little girl, and Malia was telling people about it.
Like, well, that's now my favorite part of Split as well.
We'll fly Elsie out.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's good. Okay, I might have to see that, even though it looks very scary.
Yeah,
and he,
you got me intrigued now, though, Daisy.
But now that it's on rental, you can fast forward. If you know it's something scary, you just really go, okay.
True. So one of my kids is super into filmmaking all of a sudden, and so we've been going through like different really interesting directors, but I have not introduced him to M. Night yet, so that might be good. We'll go back through some of those.
I'm waiting for Zeke to turn 13 at least, because he's 12, and so
that's a good call.
I'm looking forward to that though, because I think he's like a modern Hitchcock. He's got he's got some skills, man. This one especially, the cinematography.
He had a bit of a drought.
Yeah,
in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I like his movies.
I do too.
I like some of his movies.
Jason, it's pronounced Shyamalan, like the way that it's spelled. So trying to learn his
Wow.
Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
M. Night Shyamalan.
It sounds just like it's pronounced, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan. I'm not gonna get it still.
He's not gonna get it.
You're putting like a weird accent on it. Just say Shyamalan.
It's one of my
like
favorite characteristics about myself.
It's one of the things Jason just like that. He's not gonna get that right.
I like to secretly annoy people by mispronouncing really famous people.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Who's number two?
All right, I'm up. My number 2 is this is a sad one, but a happy one. I don't know what the heck it is.
Tell me how to feel, Greg.
So, I love Tom Petty.
Oh,
I really like Tom Petty. That's
so
my number
glad you
2.
put this on, but
Tom
I'm with
Petty.
you.
That guy was like touring and everything, and he still died. So
yeah,
it wasn't like some of the other guys that just kind of hit off somewhere, but he's been going around playing his music, and so I don't know. I really like Tom Petty. I think Tom Petty's was the first album I bought ever, probably. I was trying to remember if I had bought any before his, and I don't think so. Like I bought Into the Great Wide Open. That album was like kind of like 7th or 8th grade for me, and that was the first one I actually bought because I wanted to hear everything on it. And there were so many good songs on that album, and he's got some other just amazing songs that you learn about as you get older, and I would hold up his greatest hits album with anybody's greatest hits albums. I think he had such a long career, but he's got such a every one of those songs sounds a little different, but they've all got a really cool vibe that you catch with immediately. So anyway, I know it's not Pearl Jam, but I do like Tom Petty, so I'm going to throw that out there.
I'm with you. I saw the Full Moon Fever tour. Lenny Kravitz was opening for him. That was my second concert. My first was Whitesnake Great White. And then, but that was the first concert that I wasn't with like a parent. I was with just my discipleship group leader from Free Fullerton. I love that show. I love that. I really like Tom Petty too. Did anybody catch Group Love? You know the band Group Love? I'm not a big fan, but they played, I think, on Conan, and it was right after the Vegas shooting, and so on their stage they were, we were hurting with you, Vegas, or something. And then they ended whatever song they were playing with "I Won't Back Down." They just went into that's cool. The chorus of that song, and it nailed it. It was good.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite song?
I don't know. I was thinking about that. I don't think I do. Like, I think there's 4 or 5 that I really, really like.
Yeah. I think Free Fallin', because I know how to play it, is probably my most played or listened to. I love Last Dance with Mary Jane. I just love that riff.
Yeah.
I just say
Won't Back Down is a great song, though.
Yeah.
It's like a great kind of like, that works. Instigator's a great song. Like,
Running Down a Dream.
Yeah, there's so many. Like, that's the thing. And like the thing I was thinking about with Tom Petty is he's one of those guys that his songs done his way sound amazing, and then his songs covered sound amazing.
Yeah.
Because like there are some guys, like, to me, like Bruce Cockburn or like Bob Dylan, you can listen to them, but it's just hard. And then somebody else covers them. It's like, oh, this guy's a brilliant songwriter. But Tom Petty, it worked both ways. Like, he was really good on his own, but then also when guys cover him, you're like, oh, this song's got all this other layer to it that I didn't even know existed.
I love that song that he did for the soundtrack of She's the One.
Oh, Walls.
Is that the name of the song? I really like that. I like that tune a lot.
A heart so big.
That's a wicked good tune. And then Running Down a Dream was my favorite all-time driving Tom Petty.
That's probably why I would rank his greatest hits. Is like it was a great greatest hits album to drive to. Yeah. One is it's really long, like there's a ton of songs, but then it just has so much movement in it that it's like I don't know. That's my favorite go-to for a long drive, for sure.
Yeah. Nice. My second thing was actually Tom Petty too, Craig. So I'll just chime in and say I was also a huge Tom Petty fan since high school. It's kind of how me and my friends bonded initially, was we all had the greatest hits album. And then when Wildflowers came out, that totally spoke to me. I think Wildflower might be my favorite song of his. Yeah. And it's probably the album I listen to most. I actually have it in my car because it's just one of my favorite albums. I only saw him once at Austin City Limits. I was there when I was living in San Antonio. I went up to ACL, the festival, and so it was a big, festival scene, but I'm really happy I went. Now, I didn't realize that would be the only time I'd see him. And yeah, he meant a lot to me too. I think driving, I like to drive. I like it less now, but I used to like driving a lot. And Tom Petty was always it's always great to listen to him at any point. I think I agree with Jason. The Last Dance with Mary Jane, just the beginning of that. It's so anything you can sing along to. I don't have a great voice. I can't really sing along with Lady Gaga for that long, or Beyonce either. But coming to Tom Petty, and everyone's like a great singer all of a sudden. It's like, oh, I can harmonize with Tom Petty. That's not a problem. So that was a big loss. I think, oh man, with Chris Cornell and then Tom Petty, it's been really rough. But anyway, I think he did, while he was here, he did so much, and I think he influenced a lot of people. I know, sorry, Greg, got to bring up Eddie Vedder, but Eddie Vedder covers Won't Back Down on the Gorge, which I actually was there when he did it, so I know it's on the album when Pearl Jam was at the Gorge for a couple nights. And Tom Petty was actually playing the Gorge right before, so he was still around, and so Eddie was calling down to him like, hey, Tom, come out, Tom, let's sing together. And he never came out. But then Eddie played Won't Back Down, and it's just beautiful. I like exactly what you're saying. The covers are great. The originals are great. The live versions are great. He was just really, and even his cover, when he would cover other people, awesome. Anyway, so that was my second one, too. I just wanted to chime in on the Tom Petty.
Was it your senior quote?
Yeah, Jason, he was my senior quote.
What?
Yeah, it was time to move on, time to get going. What lies ahead, I have no way of knowing. You're right, which is so cliche, but like I was totally feeling it, being from a small town, going to a big city, and I still love that song. Oh man, I just love it. It's hard for me to listen to now. Maybe next week I'll listen to more Tom Petty, but
yeah, there's a couple of cultural moments with Tom Petty that I don't know anything about him hardly at all.
I just read his bio too, which doesn't help.
Yeah, I don't know like almost anything except for that he's been like in my life my whole life without knowing it. Yeah. And then the scene in Jerry Maguire where Tom Cruise is driving and screaming "Free Falling" is pretty amazing. Like that's a pretty spectacular spot. And then Pete Holmes has a bit about Google and like knowing and not knowing, and his example is where Tom Petty's from.
Tom Petty from?
And it's like a brilliant, like it has nothing to do with Tom Petty other than that he's the example that he used for not knowing something. And it's
like before Google, that could be your like opener in a conversation. Like, where's Tom Petty from? I don't know.
You just had no way of knowing, so you just had to deal with not knowing something.
And now it's totally
until you met a girl wearing a Tom Petty and a Heartbreakers shirt, and she told you he's from Florida, and that's how you met, and then she became your wife. Fantastic.
Oh man, yeah, great convergence of Pete and Tom.
To bring Phil up again, that's the only reason I remembered your senior quote is Phil Majorans quoted like he was one of the first to post that Tom Petty had passed in my circle, so that's who I found out from, and then I looked up that lyric because I remember the grass is green.
Time to get going.
All right, my number 2 is Foo Fighters' new disc. I give myself a C as a Foo Fighters fan, but I think this album.
They're also great live, by the way. See them live, man. They'll blow your face off.
They're a good live band, but I know there's something missing. Like there's just like I listen to them and it automatically fades to the background. I don't know what it is about it, but this new album, it's not doing that. I think it's good. I think I'd put myself from before this album. I was a C fan. Now I'm like a B+ fan.
Wow.
I'm a pretty big fan. I love Dave Grohl. I love how funny the guy is. I love how talented that whole band is. I love everything about him. I've loved them the whole time along. But if you ask me, when's the last time I put a Foo Fighters song on or a Foo Fighters disc on, probably be like 5 years ago. Like I don't know, I just don't put it in. But this new one, it's got enough. It's got more range. I think it's the range. I think I just get tired. It's the same with Adele. Like I get tired of that like sound or something. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. That doesn't make any sense to me. Such a weird comparison between Foo Fighter and Adele. If you're a C, then I'm a giant F because I've never owned a Foo Fighters song except for I think they were on the soundtrack for Shrek, and I had that movie for a little while. I don't know. I'm just not a Foo Fighters guy, man. I've never got into them. I love the YouTube videos of Dave Grohl with like Will Ferrell and stuff. Those are fun.
Yeah.
But he seems like a really cool guy when I've heard him in interviews and things, but it never translates to like, oh good, I can't wait to listen to their music. I just never got into it.
If you're a C and your like litmus test is how long ago you listened to Foo Fighters, then I'm like an A++++, because I listen to Foo Fighters all the time.
Well, awesome.
Well, but I listen to old Foo Fighters, so listen to Color and the Shape or the album called Foo Fighters back in the day. It's good. I remember in college, Aurora, the song Aurora, I would listen to over and over and over again. That's from Nothing to Lose. And then after that, I kind of dropped off. I'll admit, I dropped off after Nothing to Lose.
What was the CD that you would fold it out and it had them all in different rooms playing instruments? Do you know which album that was?
No. Nothing to Lose.
I think it came out when I was in college. I was at Biola, and I only listened to that one a bunch because my roommate at the time, Bill Leonhardt, he loved that album. And he plays all the time.
Probably Color and the Shape then, but I don't remember them being in different rooms because I have the album, like the actual CD and artwork. But
okay, so I'm about
inside of it. They're in a different studio rooms. Like there's Dave Grohl, he's with the microphone in one room, and there's a drum set in the background. And anyway, go.
All right, I'm about to lose whatever credibility I've ever gained in terms of cultural knowledge. Did they do a music video when we were like in high school or college, Jason, where they were like spoofing the Mentos ads?
Yes.
Okay, that's when I started hating them, and I've never liked them.
Just to clarify, that's
I
when
just wanted to make sure that was them before I threw them under the bus for that.
Oh, I love that. That's on the self-titled Foo Fighters album.
God save me. Was it that one that they were the Mentos, or was that the one that were Airplane?
Wait, what's the song you were singing, Jay?
Look into the sky to save me.
Look into the sky. That's Nothing to Lose. That's on the album Nothing to Lose. You're talking like 6 years after what Greg is talking about. Greg is talking about their first album. It's a self-titled Foo Fighters.
There's a picture of a gun, right, or something?
Yes,
or a laser,
and
laser
you're
gun
on Nothing to Lose, where they got kind of like, sorry to say it, but like Southern California. There. That's where they kind of lost me after that. They were in Orange County, you know, the movie. The soundtrack is a lot of Nothing to Lose. And then they just, I think for me, it's just they just got so predictable. It's kind of like Weezer. It's like boom, 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 big build, done. And it's like,
really
you change the lyrics.
Unlike the Adele to Foo Fighters comparison, the Weezer Foo Fighters is spot on.
I was just saying, I get tired of Adele's vocals the same way I get.
No, I do too. But I hate things that are amazing once I have them for a little while. That's that's the dumbest thing ever. I don't like her vocals because they sound too good.
Yeah.
No, I just can't take it in too much. It sounds the same. Okay, it's the same as the last song. She goes low and then she goes high and then she sings like no other human being can. That's like, okay, I get it. I get it.
Around for that part is the point.
I know, but I can only hear that so much, and I'm like, okay, that's good. Tell me something else. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Okay, great, your turn.
I'm up again?
I don't remember, actually. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, Jason's last. So if everybody did
that was Jason's.
Yeah,
that was Jason's. Foo Fighter.
Yeah, it is. You up again.
Hot Foo Fighter takes.
Foo Fighters' new album. It has more diversity. I like it.
All right, well, there you go.
You didn't even say the name of the album. What is it?
I don't remember the name of the album. I checked it out from the library just because I knew it was new, and it hasn't left my CD player in my car. So
yeah. If he could remember the name, he'd be an A- fan. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the on the scale. All right.
While you're doing something.
My third one is Saturday Night Live is back. And I always love when Saturday Night Live comes back. And I loved the Avatar Papyrus sketch.
Oh, yeah.
If you have not seen that, it made me laugh. I've seen it like 15 times. I laughed so hard at it every time. I love that one, and I loved Woke Jeans. I thought those were both spectacular. I like Ryan Gosling anyway. I've been on the Ryan Gosling fan train since before I hated Foo Fighters. So I'm all in on his stuff. But that I just thought it was hilarious. I thoroughly enjoyed the episode. I like Weekend Update this time, but Papyrus is like a fantastically written, brilliant observation sketch that very high on my list of favorite Saturday Night Live sketches. That's really, really funny.
And he had me at when he was doing the piano during the monologue, and he said New Orleans is actually pronounced Gnarl. Gnarlands. And I started laughing, and then he cracked up. Come on, Greg. He cracked up in every single skit. So he kind of lost it.
What I recommended, not Papyrus or
because it was
pre-filmed.
Both of those were pre-filmed.
Yeah, they were great. He's an actor, man. He's a film actor.
Yeah, so he was and then he laughed at the piano. I was like, okay, good. He's not gonna just be a great actor during this whole thing. No. Like Gnarlands is funny. Like that's so funny. And he had to say it again. Gnarls.
That papyrus sketch, it passed the Saturday Night Live sketch test for me. My wife doesn't really enjoy Saturday Night Live, but there are certain things that are so funny that I have to show her, and I had to show her that one. That was ridiculously good. I'm with you on that as your number 3. I think whatever your number is.
I've been laughing at that one all week, showing it to people. And it's like such just a brilliant observation of wait, all he did.
My favorite part is Was he just lazy? Was he? It was really funny.
He yelled at him, "I know what you did."
Yeah. That was the good acting coming through. I was like, yeah. Ryan Gosling acting.
Man, it made me laugh. All right. Anyway, that's my third one. It's good to have Saturday Night Live back. I love the random, like, hey, did you see this sketch? Did you see this sketch? I love that in my timelines and like just in people I talk to. It's another conversation thing, but I thoroughly enjoyed Papyrus.
Yeah, my year is definitely split up. Not exclusively, but I can always tell before SNL comes back and after SNL comes back. Yeah. And I love being in the after SNL comes back category.
For sure.
Yeah, it just makes my life better.
What do you think Jay-Z was doing? What was?
I continued my strong history of skipping over the music lines. Yeah, I don't know.
I watched it. What do you mean, Jay?
Was the song with just him and a microphone? Was that an apology?
Yeah, that's one of his new songs. It has like a music video to it and everything. I'd already heard it. It's pretty rough.
It's an apology to Beyonce or something?
For cheating. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty blatant.
Yeah, he makes
pretty
that really clear in
1-to-1.
that song.
Pretty 1-to-1. Yeah.
That's interesting. I just that's a bizarre. I think it's the same thing when we were talking about that Oasis guy. It's interesting. I think it's interesting. Why would you ask for forgiveness on a national scale?
Yeah.
I mean, what is that?
Very similar.
Well, I think at least in Jay-Z's case, he was called out on a national scale.
Lemonade.
So like this is what Lemonade's about.
Yeah.
To some degree, right? So he has there's some sense of he should probably share that contriteness with the world who knows he was cheating on Beyonce or something. I don't know.
Did anybody see Seinfeld on Colbert, Late Night with Colbert?
No.
Anyway, Stephen Colbert says, and they're talking about Bill Cosby, and Stephen Colbert asked Jerry Seinfeld. He says, "Can you listen to him still? Because I can't separate the the comedian from his actions off stage." And so then they went to commercial break, and Jerry said, "Yeah, I still listen to him, because I think he's amazing, all that stuff." And they went to commercial break, and they came back, and Jerry said, "I've changed my mind. I would say I don't think I could listen to him, and I think I can't separate the two." And then he pointed out, he said, "How often do you see that? Somebody saying, 'Oh, I changed my mind,' and I learned, and then Stephen Colbert bagged on him and said, 'Way to compliment yourself.'" Is this that?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. We talked about that. Yeah, you're right. We talked about that before. Like if it loses something because of so here's a parallel. See if this one matches. Yeah. I remember when I can't remember who it was now. Angelina Jolie or somebody was on Oprah talking about all of her foreign aid work. And I remember some friends being mad because she was taking credit for doing foreign aid work. And I just remember thinking to myself, yeah, but the people who are receiving the foreign aid don't care. Right? They don't or the celebrities who go into soup kitchens and serve soup, the people who get that soup don't care that they're getting credit for it. Or I don't know. So in a certain way, I guess to me, if Beyonce, if this song somehow feels like an apology to Beyonce, then I guess that's probably okay. I don't know. I got no good answers on this one, Jason.
All right. What's your number 3, B?
It's pretty weak. Sorry about that, guys. And this is a week that I saw Wonder Woman, but I don't want to talk about it. I'm a little disappointed in Wonder Woman. I'm not grateful for that movie.
Bring that up, please.
Well, I'm not grateful. I thought this was This Week in Gratitude. So,
no, I know, but
okay, we can talk about it a little in that it had a lot of hype, and I was super excited to see it, but it just, there's so many things where it fell into all the same tropes where I'm like, this is not the huge feminist movie that I've been told that it is. And it was just Superman. I mean, it was just a couple of. Actually, I did enjoy that the fight scenes were shorter, which I like. But still ended up. Sorry, spoiler alert. Still ended up with the guy still wearing the skimpiest outfit I've ever seen. Like, I just don't get how this is the hill. Everyone's like, this is how far we've climbed. This is, we get our own superhero woman, and I do enjoy that we have a superhero woman. But that movie was like. I mean, okay at best.
It was like a 7 out of 10, maybe, right?
I mean, 5.
Oh, you're much too hard on this.
Superhero movies than that.
Well, there are definitely better superhero movies.
Yeah, and so
actually, I liked her more in Batman versus Superman.
I'm not watching that movie.
Strong stance.
Yeah, I'm not watching that one.
She's awesome.
And then I looked it up during the movie. I was like, okay, is this a DC or Marvel? Because obviously I don't follow them that closely. And it's the one that I don't like. I like the X-Men movies. Those are my favorite ones. Those are actually progressive and saying something about having a society where there are outsiders and insiders. And I don't know. I think I'm just I'm over the top X-Men that I can't really see through my bias. But this Wonder Woman movie is not doing it. It's not bringing me over to the, what is it, DC side or whatever side she's on. Anyway, that was I'm not grateful for how angry it makes me, so I didn't want to talk about it. What are you?
Like, I felt like I was gonna die out here alone on the I didn't love Wonder Woman train, but I didn't hate it. I didn't love it as a superhero movie. And I think that's the point, right? Like, it's a regular superhero movie that has a woman as the lead, which is not the norm.
Like, we've gotten so far, it's okay if we don't totally excel. So then that means that we've made progress because
that's the
we
point,
didn't have to try that hard. So we're like everything else.
Like, it's the Spice Girls argument about feminism, which is like the advantage of Spice Girls is they can be as morally corrupt and sexually active as any man, right? That's the so they look at we've made it because now we can be as bad as men are, and in some ways that's what Wonder Woman is too, right? Like, it's hey, now we can be as violent and superhero-y as men. And it's like, okay, great, but I don't know. We don't really want that from our men either.
I don't like that it took 75 years.
Yeah,
to make a Wonder Woman movie. That's a bummer. I honestly think that's a bummer. But I agree with I'm on the same page as all of you. But
Wonder Woman was one of my favorite TV shows when I was a kid.
Yeah, and I do love that I like her as a character. I didn't think this movie did enough with it. I don't think it did. Yeah. The bad guy wasn't. She wasn't.
I didn't mind it. I liked the movie mostly, but it wasn't amazing. It certainly wasn't like billions of dollars amazing like it's gotten in the theaters. I can't figure that out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's so much hype. I thought I was gonna love it, and it was the same bad guy from Fargo.
That was weird. That was.
I knew it was him too. I could tell anyway. But my actual third one, I'll do it quickly, is I'm trying to drink less coffee. So you guys can be praying for me. I know. I'm going on a tea kind of thing. What? I mean, I'm drinking coffee in the morning, but not a second one in the day.
All right, somebody put Bianca back on. I don't know who this crazy.
So please be praying for me during this tough time.
I want to pray for the Seattle coffee market.
I know coffee is a big part of my life, and that's actually the problem. It's become too much of how I operate. So, anyway, talking about Wonder Woman was better, but it was not something I'm grateful for. Actually, I guess I'm kind of grateful for having this self-control to change. To change tracks in my day as well. Anyway, that's my third one.
Okay, less coffee in Bianca's life, which is crazy to me.
I know.
Okay, but I still love you, and that's good. That's good. My third one is my wife and I. We finished our 5-year journal October 1st. We bought this journal in September 5 years ago at the Anthropology, I think it was, and it has questions for every day of the year. And my wife and I used it as just a connecting place where we'd answer this question and a question a day together, and we did it together for the last 5 years. And it's just really interesting to have this. And spurred us on. We had a conversation this morning as we were eating breakfast together. I think we're gonna just keep doing it. We're gonna get a journal and just keep answering these questions, because it's such an interesting thing to see growth and see different valleys.
Yeah.
Looking back, you know, like you turn back a couple days ago, like September like 26th or something. I looked back and there was, you know, like it was the day that we were having a goodbye party in San Marino, and we didn't realize that we were as loved as we were, you know, like, and it was just so cool to look back over these like little snapshots that lasted 5 years. And it's interesting to see the ones that don't change too. You know, like one of them is like, are you a drive by the seat of your pants, or are you a planner? You know?
Yeah.
And we just across the board, like for 5 years, Malia's been a planner. I've been a fly by the seat of the pants guy. You know,
I didn't change.
No, no, but there's pieces that you see, and it's been fun. So that's my third. I'm grateful for just this journal that was a 5-year kind of conversation that we can look back on, and we're going to continue on it. And I think we're landed on. We're going to give this to a couple of couples that we know.
That's a great idea.
Just as a Christmas present, you know, or whatever. And yeah, so that's my number 3. I get to pick.
Yeah.
I get to pick, and then we get to still do B-sides.
I know. I just remember that. Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Here we
Okay.
It's
go.
gonna take a long
Top
time
5.
to pick.
Okay. Here's top 5. I'd say Snapchat.
Yes!
Because it's gonna get me looking at it. I'm gonna say Lady Gaga, 5'2". I'll watch that. I'll throw Split in there just because I want you to watch it, and so I want us to talk about it. I want us to do it.
I don't
Just
want
try
to
and
be
get
scared.
and then I'll do SNL, Ryan,
Nice.
and then Petty's.
No.
We just
Oh.
yeah, we connect on missing that guy and missing his music. That's the kind of the saddest piece, is where there's not going to be another Petty. Another thing that we didn't really mention is he's, you know, multi-decade,
Yeah, that's the thing.
and it's always got gold in it. It's just crazy.
The question I have with Tom Petty, and I've always wondered this with certain guys, but Tom Petty's maybe the best example. How does he decide I should be a musician? Because like when you sing like that, or that's your voice, how do you wake up one morning and go, I should definitely be doing rock music?
Actually, I read his bio, and he didn't start out. He was the guitar player, and then their vocalist left. This is like when he was still in high school, or maybe
that
just
makes
out
more
of high
sense.
school.
That makes
And
more
then
sense.
he jumped up on the mic, and they're like, "Oh, this sounds weird," but no one else wanted to do it, so
Yeah.
he just stuck as the lead singer of the band. But he wasn't originally the lead singer.
Interesting. I like
Yeah, yeah. And when you read stuff like that, this is always part. Anyway, reading books about people who are super famous, they always have this ambition that like
Yeah.
it's covered up. You know, Tom Petty's pretty famous and he doesn't say a lot and he looks kind of weird, and you're like, wow, lucky him, he got so far ahead. But he is actually a very ambitious person.
Right.
Like,
He
of
worked his tail
course
off.
he is. Like, how else would he possibly get here? And anyway, so that always floors me for some reason. I'm still surprised when I'm like reading something about someone. I'm like, oh, they actually tried hard and they have like a dream and they went after it. Wow.
It's because you're good friends with Jason and I. It's hard to imagine people chasing dreams down.
Run it down in dreams. Okay, B-sides, hit that music.
Boom.
Okay, I just thought of something, so you're gonna have to just live with it. And I'm sorry, I'm realizing now it's a lot like last week's question about kind of hypotheticals. So sorry, Greg, if this takes you a minute. I should really think of these earlier. But my question is, if all the TV shows that you watch, which one would you actually want to live in? Which one would you want to be a character in?
Oh, wow.
Okay, so you're not asking which show would we want to be in. You're asking.
Yeah, which one would you want to be? Like, your favorite show could be Fargo, but you definitely don't want to live in that world.
Oh, right. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's of all
we're
the
not
shows
living
you want,
as a
which one would
character.
you
It'd be
actually
like if
want
that
to
was
be
real.
in?
Yeah.
And it can be an old one too. It doesn't have to be a new show.
Okay.
My initial thing is Parks and Rec, but maybe not. I'm not. I don't
know.
do well with for sugary nice.
You can just move to Muskegon if you want that.
My first like immediate thought, and I've got to sit with it a little bit longer.
Okay.
But my immediate thought was Cheers.
Okay.
I think that'd be a
bar.
It's Boston. It's a cool bar. It's a bunch of friends. I could see that one. I gotta think some.
How about just Friends? Just kidding.
Who needs them? Let's see.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I actually didn't have an answer for mine, but
That's a good question, though. I like the question.
It wasn't too hypothetical. Like live in a different world.
I don't have a problem with hypothetical questions. I have a problem with eras of time.
Oh, thank you for clarifying, Greg. Gosh. Great point.
Someday we're gonna have a podcast where it's just Bianca and I yelling at each other.
I have a problem with time.
About things we already know about the other person, but we still keep leaning into anyway.
Okay, Jason, do you have one?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of the downside of it, but 30 Rock.
Yeah, that would be fun. A lot of crazy people, not a lot of straight people in that show.
I know, but I think it would be fun to live around Tracy Morgan, and like it would be fun to laugh that much.
Yeah,
that's true.
In New York City, yeah.
Yeah, I think mine would. It's so obvious, but my favorite show is Arrested Development, and they're not over the top, like silly. Yeah. But to be like a fly on the wall, or like maybe's best friend or something, where she gets to tell me all this stuff that is happening in her family, and I'm like, oh my. Maybe Arrested Development. I'm not sure. It's funny we all chose kind of comedy sitcom shows. No one wants to be living in like.
But that'd be SoCal. You wouldn't.
Nah, that's true. I didn't really think about the location.
I would maybe go like.
That's where I was going. Specific. Like that's what made me think of 30 Rock as the location.
Yeah, it's a cool spot.
Is there one in Chicago? I think
New Girl happens in Chicago. I think.
No, that's LA.
That's LA too, yeah.
It's from Chicago originally.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there's you made me think maybe Curb Your Enthusiasm would be a fun show to
You would want to live in that awkward world?
I live in that awkward world anyway. That's already my world. Like it's just nicer houses and it's prettier weather.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys are going with like the place that it takes place. I'm talking about like the writing and the
people and the writers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to hang out with those people. I think I don't know that I would.
I'd stick with 30 Rock, even with location, even if it was a different place.
Really?
I'd like Tina Fey would be a really good friend. I think she'd be like I don't know that character. Her character.
Lisa Lemon or Liz Lemon.
I wouldn't mind being on Sherlock if I was picking a non-comedy.
Oh
yeah.
Like
you think you could hang with
London
Sherlock?
And like whatever. What?
You think you could hang with him?
No, for sure not. But it'd be fun. Like it'd be cool to like.
You're like, oh, sure, like you missed the clue. I'm smarter than you.
You would live to like prove him wrong.
That's entirely possible.
I say, no, I think it's this.
Who's right?
Well, it's the writers, right? The writers control. They've already got the answers. It's not fair.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we have derailed.
Derailed. All right.
Once again, stunning edition of B-sides.
I'm calling this podcast. Okay, bye. See everybody later. Bye.
All right. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, rate us on iTunes. That helps. You can find us on Google Play or iTunes now. So go ahead and subscribe in both those spots. All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye.